Of the trial, huh?
I was hopeful to resolve things outside of trial.
Okay. Do you want a little more time to talk?
But also, that's one also filed a motion here to dismiss the temporary order.
Well, that's what we're here today to do.
Yeah, I just had a support brief. They told me that I could turn that in here today.
Well, you can. When am I supposed to read it? We were scheduled to start 18 minutes ago.
I actually tried to file this a couple different times with the e-file and then actually in person, and it said that it wasn't the right format. So I went ahead and made sure that it was in the right format. So
I'll take it, but I'm not going to consider it. It's not timely. So for the record, this has been filed. It's filed 18 minutes after our scheduled trial.
Your Honor, to the extent that is uploaded onto the online filing system, I request that it be uploaded as suppressed. It contains very confidential information about my client that would not normally be publicly available.
Then it will be put under suppressed. I'll go ahead and just mark it as such. And the record will reflect that this will not be considered as not timely. All right, Ms. Oriani, I just want to say that this is one of the reasons that I was hopeful that this could have been resolved since we were last here, only because of the difficulty in representing yourself. Should you have chosen to get an attorney today, that attorney well-versed in the filing of things and in-state as opposed to out-of-state. We're about to start a trial, and I need to tell you that the rules of evidence absolutely apply in this courtroom, and I am fearful that you are not well versed in those rules and are going to be frustrated. You sure you don't want one last opportunity to talk with counsel before we get started today?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have one preliminary matter to address.
Okay.
Your Honor, something happened last night that I believe constitutes contempt of the court's 228 order regarding attempted service upon Ms. Walsh's daughter, and also a violation of the protection order in general, but more specifically of the court's order. And there are two people here who are witnesses to that. We did not have an opportunity to subpoena them, and so I'm requesting that the court order them to stay in the event that testimony is needed on their behalf. One is Ms. King and one is Ms. Aveda, who's out in the hallway. This happened last night at around 5 o'clock, and so it just wasn't possible for us to subpoena them for the hearing today. And I would be happy to address the contempt matter up front, or because
Well, you haven't filed a contempt, and it's going to be contempt outside the presence of the court, so that's going to need to follow the contempt path. Now, if these are two witnesses that you wish to present, are these?
Yes, Your Honor, but this event didn't happen until last night.
Sure, but if they are somehow relevant, I don't know. If relevance could be established for them to be witnesses in your hearing today, in the trial today, then I'm going to order that they stay. Yes. Could I have both names, please?
Sarah King and Jamie Aveda. Yeah, and Ms. Aveda, I think, is ill, and so she's in the hallway to avoid being around a bunch of people. Perhaps she could just come in to hear the court say that, and then both of them could be sequestered.
All right. Well, first of all, Ms. King is in the courtroom. Good morning, Ms. King. Ms. King, I am going to order that you remain in the courthouse under court order as a witness in this case. So please know that. And officer, could you go out in the hallway and call for what's Miss Abeda's first name? For Jamie Abeda to just briefly come in the courtroom so that I can also give her that same order. Thank you. Ms. Abeda, I don't need you to do anything but just stand right there. Are you Jamie Abeda? All right, Ms. Abeda, I just wanted you to come in here briefly. I understand you're not feeling well, and I appreciate you being here. Ms. Abeda, you are a potential witness in this case now, and I am going to order that you remain in the courthouse at least until the plaintiff's case in chief is over, at which time then I'm going to ask plaintiff counsel if in fact your presence is still required, but just to remain in the courthouse, okay? Additionally, the court is going to enter a sequestration order for any and all witnesses. So let me go ahead and take your list of witnesses, counsel.
We only have Ms. Walsh, who I believe is permitted to stay, and then Ms. Abeda and Ms. King.
Okay, and Ms. Oriani, who are your witnesses for today?
There's no witnesses for today.
Okay. Do you want to testify?
Nope.
Okay.
Also, Your Honor, I would like to make it known that there is a party in the gallery that has made threats on my life that's actually here watching, and she goes by the online name Aunt Lala the Drunken Cupid, and her real life name is Alicia Ferreira.
Ms. Oriani, how is that relevant?
I just want to know that somebody that's in the courthouse here is a public figure to report for YouTube, and who's not made.
That's absolutely who's in the gallery is not relevant unless they're a witness.
Okay.
I'm not going to have the circus in this courtroom today. This is gonna just be about the elements of the protection order in the state of Colorado and whether this court makes a finding by preponderance of the evidence to satisfy that. And I'm not going to get in. I know y'all have talked a lot about this blogging. I still don't even understand it. So we're going to keep it as simple and as basic as possible. That's what the law is supposed to be about. So with that, ladies, I'm going to excuse you as witnesses, and you're not, the sequestration order is you're not to talk about the case out in the hallway either. So talk about the weather and the Broncos. I don't know that you're Bronco fans. I don't think you're from Colorado, but there you go. Talk about shopping and shoes and fun stuff. Puppy dogs, kittens. I actually heard a report that people that will take a look at those 60-second videos on their phones of kittens actually have a better or a higher satisfaction rate and happiness level. So that's a good thing to take a look at. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and let me have entry of appearance from counsel, and please introduce those people at your table.
Jennifer Zimmerman and Sydney Dolan appearing on behalf of petitioner Ms. Vanessa Walsh.
All right, and Ms. Oriani, go ahead.
Yes, Lana Oriani, pro se.
Thank you. Under Colorado Revised Statute 1314-106. To summarize, if at the hearing the magistrate finds by a preponderance of the evidence that the respondent or the defendant, in this case that's Ms. Oriani, has committed acts constituting grounds for the issuance of a civil protection order, and that two, unless restrained, will continue to commit such acts, or acts designed to intimidate or retaliate against the protected person, the magistrate shall, in other words, must, order the temporary civil protection order to be made permanent. Okay, so that's what, that's the standard that we're dealing with here today. Okay, preponderance of the evidence. It just means we're just weighing on the scales of justice, and one side is just slipped, or is tipped ever so slightly in favor of the prevailing party, whoever that might be. So with that, Ms. Zimmerman, who's your first witness?
Thank you, Your Honor. We call Vanessa Walsh.
All right, Ms. Walsh, come on up to the witness stand, please. And I don't care if you're up or sitting up or down, it doesn't change the oath, but raise that right hand. Under the penalty of perjury, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, go ahead and have a seat.
Your Honor, may I approach with that on record?
Okay, you may. Now, I'm not gonna consider it until it is made relevant.
Understood.
That's how it goes with all evidence. Every single piece of evidence needs to be brought to the court's attention and pass that relevant standard before considered. Go ahead.
So, Ms. Walsh, I want to start out talking about something that happened last night. Can you tell me what you were doing last night at around 5 o'clock?
I was in my home, actually preparing stuff for today.
And did someone come to your door?
Yes. Jamie Vita and Sarah Kate,
And who are Jamie Vita and Sarah Kate?
friends of Miss Oriani.
What did they do?
They were driving up and down the street, which is why I noticed them in the first place, really slowly, like they were looking around, pulled up in front of my home, got out, took pictures of my home, banged on the front door, and left something on my front door.
Did you at some point open your door and see what it was?
Yes.
And what was it?
The subpoenas for my husband and my minor daughter.
Did you see the car that the people were driving in?
Yes.
What kind of car was it?
It was a dark blue BMW. It was an X5. And
And did you see the person driving it?
yes,
Who was the driver?
Jamie Vita.
And what did you do next?
My daughter was home. She was upset, so I called police.
And did you at some point log on to the internet?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. I don't understand the relevancy of what two people that, I don't understand the relevancy of this.
Your Honor, I'm laying foundation.
All right, these are foundational questions. I'm going to ask you to maybe speed that up. Ms. Zimmerman, I appreciate this, but I know who Ms. Walsh is that she is the plaintiff, but we're dealing with no foundation so far. Right. Go ahead.
When you logged onto the internet, what did you see?
I saw Miss Oriani on a live at Jamie Vita's house, and Miss Vita had stated that she was going on a mission on live.
So Ms. Oriani was was broadcasting live from Miss Aveda's house.
Yes.
And can you tell me again what Miss Aveda said?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
That's hearsay.
Your Honor, it goes to the impact on Miss Walsh.
Still hearsay.
Your Honor, it's not for the truth of the matter asserted. What I believe she said is that she was going on a mission.
Your Honor,
What it relates to
Hold on,
is
hold on.
what it relates to is the fact that she was essentially stating on a live video from her own home that she was going, while in the presence of Ms. Oriani, that she was going to Ms. Walsh's house.
So why isn't that truth of the matter asserted?
Because it's not that she was going on a mission. It's that what Ms. Oriani is stating is that she doesn't know these people. That's literally what she said. And she was staying at Ms. Aveda's house, and Ms. Aveda was going on an errand for her.
All right. Ms. Oriani.
Your Honor, I never said that I did not know these people. I worked to counsel, and I talked in the private room, and it was about not having this hearing because she was going to charge me with contempt, and I felt that she was trying to intimidate me, potential witness in this case.
No, I need an objection to the evidence.
I object to the relevancy of this, and me being on a live stream at somebody's home. I am not in charge of another person, and I have no idea what Ms. Aveda meant.
And that objection is going to be overruled for that reason. I'm going to admit it, not for whether or not, in fact, Ms. Aveda was the person driving by the home, but solely for the purpose that it associates both people together. And that is the only reason that will be admitted. Continue.
So I'm going to direct the court's attention to what we have identified as Exhibit 10G. And if I may approach the witness, Your Honor. Ms. Walsh, did you take that photo?
Yes,
What is that photo of?
this penis on Vancouver.
And when did you take that photo?
Right after they left.
Is that a true and accurate representation of what those photos look like?
Yes.
Or what those papers look like?
Yes.
Your Honor, I request that the court admit Exhibit 10G to evidence.
Ms. Oriani, do you have a copy of 10G?
I'm actually unable to see it because this isn't loading out. And that's 2 pieces of paper. What's the piece of paper underneath the paper?
I'm just asking if you object to this photo being admitted based on what Ms. Walsh said it was.
Or I can't tell what the second paper is, so it's Mrs. Walsh's interpretation of what the second paper is.
All right, no, that objection is overruled. 10G will be admitted.
Now, actually, Your Honor, may I just stay up here to go through a couple of exhibits with Ms. Walsh?
Sure.
Okay, now I'm directing the court's attention to Exhibit 10H. Did you take that photo?
Yes.
What is that a photo of?
The subpoena is certain. I can't tell which one that is. That is, thank you. That is the subpoena for my husband.
And is that one of the papers that was included on your door?
Yes.
And did you take that photo last night?
Yes.
Is that a true and accurate representation of what the paper on your door was?
Yes.
I request that the court admit Exhibit 10H to evidence. And I did provide Ms. Oriani a copy of everything on her flash drive. I can instead share it with her by Dropbox if she prefers.
Yeah, that'd be good. Thank you.
And if you could, since she indicated right now she doesn't have the ability to open that flash drive, if you could also just show her your picture on your screen.
I can look through this if it matters.
Yes.
So a subpoena went to her daughter. I have no idea, so I don't know. This is the first time seeing it.
The other one is a photo. Let me see.
Okay, thank you.
each will be admitted.
Now this is exhibit 10E. What is this?
That is the second subpoena that is for my minor child.
Did you take that photo?
Yes,
When did you take that photo?
after they left yesterday.
Was that one of the papers that was left on your door?
Yes,
Is that a true and accurate representation of the photo that you took and
yes,
of the paper that was on your door?
yes.
I request that 10E be admitted, Your Honor. And I did just send a copy of this to Ms. Oriani, but I'm happy to show her a photo as well.
Ms. Ariani, have you received that?
Yes, I just did, Your Honor.
Okay, so now you can access
Now I
it
can
on
look
your phone. Okay.
Thank you.
Any objection under the rules of evidence?
And that was H, right?
10E?
10E and 10H. 10H is already. Oh, 10H was already admitted. So 10E.
Okay.
Did you have an objection under the rules of evidence, Ms. Oriani?
No.
10E will be admitted.
Now I'm going to address exhibits 10A through 10D. So, Ms. Oriani, or excuse me, Ms. Walsh, I'm showing you what's been marked as exhibit 10A, 10B, 10C, and 10D. Can you describe to me what those are?
Pictures of Miss Vegas vehicle driving up to my home.
When did you take those pictures?
It was around 4 p.m. yesterday.
And are those true and accurate representations of the photos you took?
Yes.
And is that the car that was dropping papers off at your house?
Yes.
Can you identify the individual in the photo marked 10D?
Yes.
What is that?
Jamie Mayer.
Do you know who's in the passenger seat?
Sarah King.
I request that the court admit exhibits 10A through 10 to evidence.
Any objection under the rules of evidence through to exhibits 10A, 10B, 10C, 10,
No.
10D? All right, those exhibits will be admitted.
Ms. Walsh, how did you interpret this as service of process?
No.
What reaction did this cause in you?
I was extremely upset, more stressed out because my daughter was home at the same time.
The two pieces of paper you said had your husband's name and your daughter's name on them.
Yes.
What was your understanding of why those were left?
Intimidation to not be here today, one last ditch effort or revenge.
Objection, Your Honor. But again, relevancy on all of this.
And that objection's overruled.
Okay.
Is this the first time that you interpreted conduct of Ms. Oriani's or other people related to her to be directed at causing you not to appear at the hearing today?
No.
When did that first come up?
As soon as she was served, the day after she was served, she posted a picture of my husband on her community wall. She also stated in a video that I only have one option, which is not to show up, because if I don't testify, this would be dropped.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
I'm showing Ms. Walsh the exhibit that has been marked as Exhibit 8A. What is this?
That's a photo of my husband.
And who wrote the quote on it?
Ms. Oriani.
Do you know when this was posted?
Yes. January 18th.
And did you take this screenshot?
Yes.
Is that a true and accurate representation of the screenshot that you took?
Yes.
Your Honor, I submit Exhibit 8A to evidence.
Ms. Oriani, any objection using the rules of evidence?
No.
Okay, 8A will be admitted.
So, looking at this and reading from the quote, it is a photo of your husband, and it says, quote, "I'm looking forward to telling Sean the whole truth and nothing but the truth."
Yes.
Do you know what that was referring to?
It was her threatening me to, in my interpretation of it, that she was threatening me not to show up.
And how many days, do you know the date that Ms. Oriani was served with the paperwork in this case?
January 17th,
And how many days after that was this posted?
the next day.
So I'm gonna go back a little bit and talk about YouTube and the way that it's set up. So what is your current job?
I'm a YouTube creator.
What does that mean?
I create content regarding true crime.
Is that your full-time job?
Yes.
So can you explain to me the different components of YouTube and the way that a YouTube creator like yourself would interact with viewers or subscribers?
Yes. They can leave comments on public posts or on videos. They can also tag you, which is where they put the @ symbol and the name of your channel and notification.
Okay. And what impact does it have if you are tagged?
It shows up on your feed.
So it notifies you.
Yes.
Is it akin to sending a direct message to you?
Yes.
Okay. Since January 17th, and Your Honor, I would like the court to take judicial notice of the fact that the affidavit of service in this case does indicate that Ms. Oriani was served on January 17th of 2022.
Let's just see. I have a return of service that was filed with the court on January 25th. We'll take judicial notice of that return of service. That does indicate service to the respondent in Franklin, Ohio, as of Monday, January 17th at 7:00 p.m. So noted.
So since January 17th, has Ms. Oriani tagged you in any posts on her YouTube page?
Yes.
And have those been videos or have those been something else?
Mainly community posts and videos.
And can you explain to me what a community post is?
So we have a certain number of subs. There is a tab on your channel where anyone can see, basically just post public posts, and anyone can go read them.
Ms. Welch, can you explain what a sub is?
A sub is a subscriber. It's someone that subscribes to your channel, and that's your subscriber count.
And so as a person who does YouTube full-time as a job, how many subscribers do you have?
120,000, a little over 120,000.
How many, based on your personal experience, how many subscribers are necessary to be able to make YouTube into a full-time job?
Probably, the more the better, but probably 100,000.
And how long has this been your full-time job?
2 years.
Okay. So I'm going to approach you to identify some additional exhibits. I am showing Ms. Walsh what has been marked as exhibits 8B, C, D, E, F, G. Ms. Walsh, did you take these screenshots? Yes. And can you show me why you took these screenshots or what they depict?
She's tagging me and writing my name and tagging my brand in all of them.
And were these all taken after January 17th?
Yes.
Do you have the specific dates that these were taken?
I would have to look. Not offhand, there were so many of them, but they were after January 17th.
And are these fair and accurate representations of the screenshots that you took depicting your channel being tagged?
Yes.
And just to clarify, what is the name of your channel?
Unmasked.
Your Honor, I request that exhibits 8A, through 8G, or I'm sorry, 8B through 8G be admitted?
You gotta lay more foundation, council. I don't find so far that they're relevant. I don't know who, there are these screen names. How do I link those with Ms. Oriani?
Thank you, Your Honor.
There's a link missing.
So there's a photo at the top. Who's that a photo of?
Ms. Barnani,
And what is her screen name at the top?
Truth and Transparency is the name of the channel.
Do you know whether or not that is Ms. Oriani?
Yes, it is,
And how do you know that?
because that's her channel and her photo is there next to her name.
And is she also writing about things that she wrote personal knowledge of?
Yes. Objection, Your Honor, there's no dates to any of these posts as well.
I'm about to go through the dates. So I'm directing your attention now to Exhibit 8B. Do you recall the date that that was posted? And if it would refresh your recollection to look at the exhibit charts you made in this case.
Yes, please.
Just read these quietly to yourself and then I'll be out here. Yes. So what date was Exhibit 8B?
January 19th.
And then I'm looking at Exhibit 8C, where you are tagged at unmasked. Is that you?
Yes.
And then would you read the next part of that? Is that a direct question? This is why did you stop showing how many total members you have on your chart?
Yes, direct question to me.
And do you recall the date of that?
January 24th.
And now looking at Exhibit 8D.
I'm gonna back you up, council. There's something that's been blocked out and I don't know why. On HC. And there was something on 8B too. I don't know why those markings are there.
So, Your Honor, these are, I believe those are notations. Did you write those notations?
No, she did.
Those were notations on the screenshot that were in the post posted by Ms. Oriani. I don't know the purpose of them, but that is the screenshot that's taken.
With the Sharpie markings.
I know they look like Sharpie markings. I believe that they are electronic markups.
All right, continue.
So I'm moving on to 8D. Do you remember the date at 8D?
January 24th.
And is that your handle tag?
Yes.
And is that from Ms. Oriani?
Yes.
On 8E, is that also from Ms. Oriani?
Yes.
And is that your handle tag?
Yes.
And what date is that?
January 24th.
On 8F, is that from Ms. Oriani?
Yes.
And there are a number of people tagged there. Is one of them you?
Yes.
And do you remember the date of that?
January 25th, 24th.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at the document that you made about these?
Yes. The 25th.
And then 8G, is that from Ms. Oriani?
Yes.
And are you tagged in that?
Yes.
And do you recall the date? If it refreshes your recollection, you are welcome to look at the document.
January 25th.
Your Honor, I request that 8B through G be admitted into evidence.
Ms. Oriani?
No objection.
Okay. The court will then admit exhibits 8B through G into evidence.
So, Ms. Walsh, with these exhibits 8B through G, tell me what you experienced on your end when you are chatting with them.
When I pull up my channel for the day, it notifies me in the feed that comes up in front of you with your notifications. It's essentially like if you were to get a text, it comes through in your feed and it notifies you.
Okay. And does it notify you of the content and who it's from also?
Yes.
Now I want to talk to you about some other videos that Ms. Oriani made at the time that, or shortly after she was served. Do you recall watching a video on January 19th of 2022?
Yes.
And do you recall the content of that video?
Could you show it to me?
Yes. I'm approaching with Exhibit A. I'm sorry, Exhibit 2A. Yes. Okay, and can you describe what this video is?
I believe the title of that one is Work With Me, and that is her talking about coming to Denver.
And
Ma'am, I had a tough time understanding you.
I'm
Would you
sorry.
repeat that?
Let's try. It's a video that where she's discussing coming to Denver for the temporary restraining order.
Who's she?
Miss Oriani.
Your Honor, I request permission to play the video for her so that I can make sure it's what she remembers seeing the clip of.
Well, when's the last time you took a look at that clip?
I would say maybe within the last week, but there's a lot of them.
Okay. If you can identify this one based on the sort of identifying information, and
Yes.
is this a fair and accurate representation of the clip that you made from watching this?
Yes.
And this was on January 19th.
Yes.
I request permission to play it for the court.
You may.
John for John Mass, wasn't in his HR number. Was in, can you check your, you paid for it on my hand, you paid for everything, yeah. Yes. Did you guys ever get involved with Facebook groups and stuff like that? Okay, so something like that.
Your Honor, there are two.
Okay. Everybody loves you on this channel, from the site what people are saying in chat.
I'm gonna play this one more time so that what she's saying is clear.
Working on my aim.
So what she says in that clip is that she's
Working on my aim.
And just so the record's clear, Ms. Oriani is depicted saying, I have Twitter Denver soon, I'm working on my aim, and then firing a Nerf gun. Your Honor, I request that be admitted into evidence as Exhibit 2A.
Ms. Oriani, any objection?
I object to the fact that that clip is out of context due to that it's like a 2-hour live. So it's completely out of context. Why was there a Nerf gun?
Okay, well, that is a valid objection. Why should the court only take this small excerpt?
Your Honor, we'd be happy to play the entire video. It's 2 hours long.
Do you have that for the court?
I think I do have that for the court. And I think that that would be not a great use of judicial time or resources. I think it is crystal clear that she's referencing going to Denver, that this is after the protection order was served, and that she says she's taking her aim. And so if she wants to play the entire video, I do have it. I'm happy to do that.
All right, well, I'm going to allow that clip over the defendant's objection. 2A will be admitted. I do believe that the objection is well taken, but I think it goes more to the weight, not the admissibility of that evidence. And certainly, Ms. Oriani, if you would like the court to consider all 2 hours and would like to use the court's time for that purpose, then you may go ahead and admit that entire tape for consideration.
Thank you.
Go ahead, counsel.
Okay. Now I want to direct your attention, Ms. Walsh, to January 30th of 2022. And on January 30th, did you watch the video posted online by Ms. Oriani?
Yes.
And did that video address your husband?
Yes.
Do you recall what it said?
Yes. She had just returned from Denver. She said that she wanted to subpoena my medical records and subpoena my husband as well.
Your Honor, may I approach for purposes of identification?
You may.
I am showing you a video clip that has been marked as Exhibit 6A from the date you just mentioned, which was January 30th. Is this a true and accurate representation of the video clip that you made from that day?
Yes.
Did you personally make this?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I request that Exhibit 6A be admitted. I'm happy to play it first if necessary.
Any,
Said,
any objection to 6A?
If you want me to play it first, that's fine.
yes, can you play that, please? Thank you.
So that's what I'm doing. Just because. On Wednesday, I'm filing a motion. For a change of venue. It's a long shot, but fuck it. Number one, change of venue. And number two, I'm paying money to send out my first two subpoenas. And you do understand, when you're subpoenaed, you have to show up, otherwise there'll be a warrant out for your arrest. First subpoena. Vanessa's husband. Sean Fish. Second subpoena. Vanessa's medical records. Chance. And I'll be serving that subpoena at her husband's work.
Your Honor, I request that Exhibit 6A be admitted.
Any objection, Ms. Oriani?
Once again, I object. That's a clip from my probably 6-hour live and take it out of context.
Your Honor, I respond in the same way, which is, it is very clear what she's talking about. She's talking about subpoenas in this case. I do have the full 6-hour clip, and I'm happy to play it for the court, if that is what Ms. Oriani would like.
No, I will rule similarly. We do have a rule of completeness. The court does not have the time nor the resources in this hearing to listen to all 6 hours of that. Ms. Oriani also has access to that same tape and can play what she believes is necessary, and she may do that during her court time. I think everything else really goes to the weight and not the admissibility. So, Ms. Oriani, when you talk about it being taken out of context, you can choose to testify as to what that context is. You may also, on cross-examination, inquire. So, thank you, Anna. I'm going to allow that exhibit. So, 6A will be admitted.
So that was from a 6-hour live video, right?
I believe so.
Did Ms. Oriani during that 6-hour live video mention any reason that the video had been that long?
Yes, she did.
And what did she say about that?
She said that she was making the lives long so that my attorneys would have to watch them and it would cost me money.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 7-2A. Did you take this clip
Yes,
and did you mark it?
yes,
Is this a true and accurate representation?
yes.
I'm going to play it now.
I'm curious to know the bill that it has cost to this point, with them talking about the hours of footage that they would have to go through. I mean, can you just imagine if Chris Watts's people, Chris Watts's, his attorneys would have done this? Can you imagine if, like, Frederick would have done this? Can you just imagine if, like, Frederick would have done this and was very, what's the word I would use? Thorough. Can you just imagine that? We wouldn't be here. But all these hours that they're going to put into this investigation.
I'm now playing the related clips of 7-2B through 2D from the same audience.
Do you know if it would be public information to find out what that bill would be at this point? How many hours have been put into, watching? I mean, I'm just saying, if I was in Mod Squad's position, I would be, on the phone with my attorney saying, I can't have you spend $10,000 on watching footage. If this is going to cost them, I can't go forward with that. And $10,000 would be right around 30 hours worth of footage. We know I like to talk. And I'm talking a lot right now for a reason.
So Ms. Oriani in that clip, or Ms. Walsh in that clip, Ms. Oriani refers to Mod Squad.
She's using that in place of my name.
How do you know?
Because she says it at the beginning of the video, and she also slopes up multiple times through the video and says my name and unmasked.
So I'm now showing you Exhibit 7-2C.
I mean, all I know is that it's being for attorneys another 6 hours worth of material to go through. Great life, man. Just, this is insane. This is insane. Apparently emojis are coming. It's just now. The best is when I hear from Callie and she's like, who are these people? Me and Callie were cool. I don't know. I guess I cooled everybody out now. Thank you. It's a very long life. 6 hours. You're gonna have to go through a lot of material.
55 hours and 58 minutes. If I eat one more pickle, it'll be 6 hours. And that is at least $1,800. Mm.
Your Honor, I submit exhibits 7-2A through D evidence.
Ms. Oriani, any objection?
No objection.
Seven A,
7-2A.
7-2A, boy, we've got a lot of numbers here. 7-2B, 7-2C, and 7-2D will all be admitted, but counsel, you're gonna need to show the court the relevance of eating a pickle on.
Your Honor, I don't believe that the pickle is the relevant part. I think the fact that following service, Ms. Oriani was endeavoring to cost Ms. Walsh money is part and parcel of the harassment behavior in this case.
All right, well, that goes to the weight, but not the admissibility. I think it meets the threshold of admissibility, but it's gonna need to be all stitched together in an argument.
Understood, Your Honor. Your Honor, 1 moment, please. So I want to go back to the previous clip we saw regarding a request for your medical records. Was that the only time that following service on the 17th that Ms. Oriani did a live broadcast related to medical records for you or your family?
No.
Was there another time that she discussed medical records related to your husband?
Yes.
Okay, and did you take a clip of that?
Yes, I did.
I'm showing you a clip that has been marked as Exhibit 7E. Is that a true and accurate representation of the clip that you took in this case?
Yes.
Do you recall the date that was aired, or would it have been to look at a document?
I mean, it did.
I'm going to play Exhibit 7E.
Has your husband had any procedures done? Any in the past 10 years, any procedures? Would your husband be, would your husband be surprised or shocked if he was asked? They would object to that and it would be overruled. So I have to rephrase this question, which would be, husband, fiance, business married, yeah, have you had any, has he had any surgeries, any procedures done on him in the past 10 years? Is your husband able to get you pregnant? So he hasn't had any procedures that would, that he would be able to get pregnant. Objection. Relevancy. Well, this is going in terms of the possible fear that Mazda would have if she was to be pregnant and then find out that her husband can't possibly be the one to get her pregnant. Would her husband a know that she was having an affair that way. That came out. You just decided that's relevant because it's been told to my client that and said in this paperwork about prescriptions, something about personal life, family members. My client was told all of this because from Stephanie, and again, Stephanie's here to testify that this is what was told to her from James Angelo. So, let's see here with why maybe James Angelo was not removed and the level of fairness that would cause harm to one's marriage. So if Mr. Walsh was asked these questions, did you hold your hand, did you hold your wife's hand during any type of procedures? Were you aware that, would it surprise you to find out that your wife had a miscarriage? Would that be surprising to you? Did you know this?
Now, Ms. Walsh, I'm going to ask you a little bit about the context of that clip. Can you explain what was going on in that clip?
In my opinion, trying to threaten me.
What I mean is that part of that 6-hour live?
Yes.
So what we heard was Ms. Oriani seemed to be
We are going to interrupt this. Whoa. We're going to interrupt this broadcast because we have just seen another video drop. You have to bear with me though because my computer is like going crazy. So, and Yanka's telling me.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Dorothy.
Just give it a minute.
GTOS.
Yeah, here's it here.
I can't hear anybody. There's nobody talking to me.
Oh my God. This is why I love you, you know. You just tell me exactly the truth. It's like, does this t-shirt make me look fat?
Take
No,
one
babe.
headphone so you can hear everybody typing.
No, babe.
Movie
Your fat
girl.
makes you look fat. Oh, balls. Okay,
No
bear with me.
S to the moon.
Hi. Oh my God. I shouldn't have took a hit of the vape before I did this. Should. Okay, hold on. Where is it? There we go. Woo-hoo. Oh, shit.
Is this fun for you?
Is this as fun for you as it is for me? Okay, stop screen. I need Dorothy to help me do this. She's a mess.
We're going on a field trip, Dorothy.
Yeah, please.
Am I screaming?
Please
No,
keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Okay. Here we go. Boom, boom. Is it sharing the screen? Can't see. Yes. Okay. Get ready for this.
All you had to do was tell the truth, and you couldn't do it. You couldn't fucking do it. And why couldn't you cut ties with Melissa Jade? It's because of the fucking shit that she has on you. If you were to cut ties, because anybody in their right goddamn mind would have said, wait, hold the fucking front door. This girl didn't do any of this stuff. All she keeps on doing is proving that she didn't do it. And what do you guys do? We're en masse. We have 119,000 people behind us. We'll be fine. Okay. I don't care if you have 2 million people behind you. You will never be fine. Because if you are leading the fucking way, your channel, it's only a matter of time. You acting like you're too fucking busy to talk to somebody or to handle something. You got so fucking mad that Natasha Cooper called you a bitch. A fucking bitch. That's all you got pissed off about was that you were called a fucking bitch. I was called a sexual predator and had 16 victims, Vanessa. And then other channels started saying that I had 26 and 36. But you were fucking pissed about being called a bitch by Natasha Cooper. But you don't get involved in drama and you don't care about drama and you're not about drama. The reason you didn't help me, Vanessa, is because I wouldn't be dirty with you. And I'm fine with that. I won't ever be dirty with anybody. I don't need to be. But what James Angelo and fucking Melissa Jade have done and what your little trolls have tried to cover up, it's all going to come to light. And whatever wrong Teresa has done, she'll have to own too. Nobody gets a pass. There's no fucking passes here. Why the fuck do you think Natasha Cooper's not on panel right now? Because she knew that there was no pass. There was no fucking deal with Natasha Cooper. If she truly wanted to do anything, she had the opportunity to do as much right as she possibly could. She chose not to. Do you think that I thought she was going to have tonight? The thing that really upset me and really hurt me was that behind the scenes you told people not to endorse my website, not to talk to me, all this stuff, even after I talked to you in May. And even after you said that you liked me as a person. And that was the hardest part. Because you stand for nothing, Vanessa. You never will. And what you and your fake ass boyfriend are a part of and what you guys do is wrong. And Lynn may be crazy. Natasha may be a fucking scammer. But what you do behind the scenes is everything is wrong with this community. And trust me, all my digital evidence will show everything that you've done. And it'll show in a way that you probably won't ever have a chance again. And you're a piece of shit. You are. Because I know everything that you've done. And I'm choosing not to tell some things because it's that bad. But you're not going to ruin my Christmas. You're not going to ruin my son's. And you're not going to ruin my life. Because I'm standing right here. And I'm going to beat all of your bullshit. That's the facts.
And then she does what she's done. Is this person for real? She does what she's done. Oh my god, my voice. Oh my god, my voice.
I did that just for the funsies.
She knows I hate that. I can't listen back to
She is a serial harasser. A serial harasser. Imagine that. And she just goes, look how far, because somebody didn't want to be friends with her.
Okay, that's totally normal. Yeah.
I can't even put it into words anymore. I don't even know how.
No.
The shit has gotten so crazy. She's giving me the earbud again.
I'm giving you the I can't hear anything. I'm joking.
Yeah, I
Go
know,
on.
me neither.
Any excuse.
Anyways,
We're
ugh.
gonna resume back to the question.
Let's go back to
The truth.
the legal, the court, the legal, just the audio, the legal, what actually happened. Oh, and what actually happened was recorded for a reason. So people can't spin and lie. Why do you think courts record stuff? Because there's crazy people out there.
Acting out sort of a court proceeding. Can you tell me, did you view that entire video?
Yes, I did.
And can you tell me the context of what she was doing with the objections and things like that based on your having watched it?
She was holding a mock trial for this hearing and going through what she said she was going to ask me and calling me Mod Squad.
Okay. And was that a mocked up cross-examination of you?
Yes.
Do you make your online persona a personal matter?
No.
Do you keep your business and personal life separate online?
Completely.
Do you use your full name online?
No.
Do you use any identifying information about yourself?
No.
And do you identify your husband or your daughter online?
No.
Have you ever inadvertently identified your daughter online?
No. Not to my recollection.
At some point, did you inadvertently say your daughter's name and not put it online?
I can't remember the date, but there was a private members only live that I had, and I slipped up and said her name and deleted the live.
So is it fair to say that you take pains to make sure that you do not publish any personal identifying information?
Yes.
Okay. At some point since January 17th, did Ms. Oriani publish identifying information about you online?
Yes.
Do you remember the date of that?
There's been multiple dates.
May I approach it?
You may.
Would it refresh your recollection to see the document that you made? And what identifying information did she share at that time?
My full name, my full legal name, my husband's full name, and my IP address.
And what type of identifying information is included in an IP address?
That's my personal. People that get that can hack you, do pretty much whatever they want with it if they know how.
Is it also linked to a specific zip code?
Yes.
Okay. And in this case, would that be linked to your home zip code?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to play for you what has been marked as Exhibit 2B.
The court IP address, got it.
And can you describe what the image is on that?
It's the bottom portion of a NDA, and it has the IP address on the bottom, and she showed it in public live.
Okay. And did you take this clip?
Yes.
Is it a true and accurate representation of what happened on the video?
Yes.
I request that the court admit Exhibit 2B.
Any objection to 2B?
No, Your Honor.
2B will be admitted.
Your Honor, I want to double check on my work. Was Exhibit 7B admitted?
No, it was not.
Your Honor, I apologize. That was the clip from just a moment ago with the mock trial and the cross-examination with the personal questions, including whether my client had an extramarital affair and a miscarriage, and I request that be admitted as exhibit 7E.
Ms. Oriani, any objection to 7E?
No, Your Honor.
7E is admitted. How about 2B? Do you have any objection to 2B?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. 2B is also admitted.
Now I want to direct your attention, Ms. Walsh, to one more clip that I want to show you and then talk about before we request for it to be admitted. I want to direct your attention to January 20th. Did you watch a live show that was someone else's show on January 20th?
Yes,
And whose show was that?
Natasha Cooper's.
Who's that?
She's another YouTube creator.
And at some point, did you see Ms. Walsh comment in the community while you were watching that?
Miss Oriani did comment.
Okay. And can you provide some information about the discussion and then Ms. Oriani's comment?
They were discussing the service of her TPO, and she was saying that Vanessa Walsh did this to my son, that it traumatized her son, and that Natasha Cooper said that I should have my ass beat, and she agreed.
Okay. I'm going to play this clip.
The intent but for him to do this and have another man with him, whether he was a legal process server or not, he needs his ass beat. And whoever sent him there needs their ass beat. You don't do this kind of thing intentionally to hurt a child. And that is exactly what they did this for. They did this at this exact time.
So I want to direct your attention on this clip at 29:21. Who's this a photo of in that small circle with the comment at 29:21?
Miss Oriani.
And is that her screaming?
Yes.
What is that screaming?
Truth and transparency.
And what is her response to the other person saying that whoever did this needs their ass beat?
Vanessa Walsh hired him.
Your Honor, I request that exhibit 3A be admitted.
Ms. Oriani, any objection under the rules of evidence to 3A?
No objection.
3A will be admitted. Again, it goes to the weight, not the admissibility.
So, Ms. Walsh, we have discussed a number of things today, including tagging you so that it shows up as a message to you, including what occurred last night, including, certainly somewhat, I don't know how to exactly characterize it in a neutral way, but content of certain videos that appeared to be aimed at you since Ms. Oriani was served. Do those represent the only times that she was either tagging you or directing video content at you?
No.
So if Ms. Oriani is posting video content that is about you or directed at you and doesn't tag you, can you ignore it?
No,
Why not?
because the way that, Sarah can explain this, the way that the algorithms work on YouTube as well is because she does tag me so much, even though I'm not subscribed to her channel, it still appears in my feed.
So with it still appearing in your feed, you get it automatically when you sign on for your job.
Yes,
And do you also hear about it from other people?
yes.
When Ms. Oriani mentions you in a live, how often do you hear from other people about it?
On average, I could have 20 to 50 people send me that.
So given your current employment as a full-time YouTuber, is it possible for you to avoid Ms. Oriani's comments about you?
No.
questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Zimmerman, do you want to ask your client any questions about what brought her here in the first place?
Your Honor, I believe that the court heard extensive evidence about that. I certainly can backtrack and go through that because Ms.
Well, it's not
Oriani's,
backtracking, counsel, when Ms. Oriani wasn't present the first time.
I understand, Your Honor, Ms. Oriani is in possession of the complaint and stated that she did not plan to testify today, which causes me to believe that she acknowledges the things in the complaint, but I think you're right, Your Honor, that it will be safer to go through.
It's your case.
So, the court did see a lot of the information that Ms. Walsh had earlier on, and so I'm going to start and go over in sort of a quicker fashion. Ms. Walsh, how did you initially come in contact with Ms. Oriani?
I have a question here. She's talking about the court saw a bunch of stuff prior to. Is that admitted in evidence or exhibits?
It's not admitted into evidence as an exhibit, Ms. Oriani. That first hearing is what's called ex parte,
Yes.
because Ms. Walsh was the only one present. And so while the court can take judicial notice of the court, whatever is in the court file, and I was the presiding officer, none of that was subject to cross-examination. And so what I'm telling Ms. Zimmerman is that I want it heard again because I want you to have the opportunity to cross-examine. I'm not, as I said at the beginning, I love trials. I have 3 decades in the courtroom, and I really believe in cross-examination. And so rather than limit any exposure, especially since I'm dealing with you who is ex parte, I want to hear it again, subject to cross-examination and a different set of eyes. So
Thank you, Your Honor.
that's what I was doing there, is letting Ms. Zimmerman know I want to hear more.
So, Ms. Walsh, we talked previously about your job as a YouTuber. And what genre of channel do you have?
True crime.
And is that a large online community?
Yes.
How would you describe the nature of the work that you do in the true crime community?
We research and analyze and then make content. And I also have a discussion group, but make content about cases all over the world.
And are you familiar with Ms. Oriani's channel?
Yes.
And what is the name of her channel?
Truth and Transparency.
How would you categorize her channel?
She says it's true crime. I would categorize it as drama.
Okay. Is it, does she, on her channel, purport to place herself under the umbrella of true crime?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you initially come into contact with Ms. Oriani?
I was first made aware of her because I was sent a threatening post that she posted December 31st, 2020.
So December 31st of 2020. And what was that post?
It's a post in a large group where she talks about my channel and me. I go on Facebook, I'm Vanessa, and she's angry in the post and then tags her current location at the bottom as Tessa's house.
Do you recall what she was angry about?
Just
Just broadly speaking.
the Chris Watts case.
Had you commented on the Chris Watts case?
Yes.
And had Ms. Oriani also publicly commented on the Chris Watts case?
Yes.
Okay.
So, sorry to answer your question fully. I knew her through that and through her online
So on December 31st of 2020, she posted something saying that she was at your house, which, yes, and she was not in fact at your house. Correct. Around that time, did you come to the understanding that she had requested information about your home address?
No, I didn't know that until this December.
At what point did you initially engage with Ms. Oriani?
August 6th, I believe, of this year.
August 6th of this year hasn't happened yet.
Oh, I mean, last year, I'm sorry.
In 2021,
21, sorry.
And had Ms. Oriani attempted to engage with you between December 31st of 2020 and August of 2021?
Yes.
How often?
I know at least 2 times where she asked my employee that she wanted to be on my channel and to send me a video.
And what did you respond?
I said no.
Why?
I did not want any association with her because of the nature of her Shazam videos.
And what is the nature of the Shazam videos?
She wears a corpse filter and mocks. She plays a deceased Shanann Watts and mocks Bella and Cece's death.
Okay.
Sorry, Bella and Cece Watts.
So I would like the court to take judicial notice of the fact that the Watts case is a Weld County case originating in Colorado from, I think, 2018, wherein Chris Watts pled guilty to killing his wife and 2 daughters, and this was a case where he disposed of the bodies of the girls in oil tankers on the Anadarko site. It was a nationally relevant news story, and is something that I think
I don't know that it's appropriate for me to take judicial notice of it. Your client has mentioned the case. I don't know why I would need to take judicial notice of the case.
Will you clarify who Bella and Cece are?
The daughters of Shanann and Chris Watts.
Did Chris Watts murder them?
Yes, he did.
So now go back and explain again what the Shazam videos are with that context.
She wears a corpse filter, and
I'm sorry, when you say she, who are you?
Miss Oriani wears a corpse filter over her face, and
What is that?
it's
Your Honor, I do have the videos if it would help the court. They're profoundly disturbing, which is why I love saying that.
I guess I'm not even sure how it's relevant.
I think that watching the videos is not relevant. The only part of it that is relevant is that is the reason that Ms. Walsh was not engaging with Ms. Oriani, was because she did not want to be associated with the creator of those videos. That's it.
So you could really sum that up by saying that Ms. Oriani has a website that Ms. Walsh finds distasteful or irreputable.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay. Why did you then choose to engage with Ms. Oriani when you did?
there was a live on a different channel that was set to it had an advertisement up with the advertisement was half my face and Miss Oriani's face, and it said that they were going to fully dox us, which means publish our personal information on a live.
Why did that cause you concern?
Because I am very private and that's not been done, so I contacted YouTube to stop it.
And so, did you reach out to Ms. Oriani or did she reach out to you about it?
And I reached out to her to see if she had seen the ad and was able to reach YouTube.
And then what happened?
YouTube told me it would take 48 hours. The video was set for 24. So I was basically in a panic trying to see how I could get it to not air.
Did you think that by working with Ms. Oriani you could get it to not air?
Yes.
Will you describe how your interaction with Ms. Oriani progressed after that?
The conversations were friendly. And after that, we spoke about mainly bullying online, things of that nature. In August, in September, there was one day in particular, I think she sent me 13 messages in a row. I was not responding as much, trying to kind of back off of it. And then I think we spoke again in November.
And what happened after you spoke in November?
We spoke in November, and then towards the end of November, beginning of December, there was a shift that I noticed.
What did you notice?
She, despite being friendly in the conversations, started having lives. So she'd be friendly to me in the conversation and have a live accusing me of things and being adversary. So
Is a live, are you talking about a live stream?
a live broadcast, yeah, like a TV show.
And so what did you do to discontinue communication with her?
First, I tried to talk to her to see if I could control the situation that way and just kind of keep on good terms so nothing would escalate, just to be nice.
How long was that phone conversation?
On December 2nd, I believe it was 5 hours, and it was right after a live where she had accused me of something and then made one of my employees very uncomfortable, and I contacted her about that.
Is it fair to say that you thought that if you could talk to her that you could fix the situation and get her to stop doing it?
Yes.
Did that work?
No.
What did you do next?
It ended up having the opposite effect, and so I blocked her on December 21st.
What do you mean it had the opposite effect?
I felt like the nicer I was and the more I tried to reason with her, the more irrational she became. She basically said that I need to publicly back her and her version of things or else, and tagging me in videos and things. I even asked her to please not do that, not tag me anymore, and she said that she'll do what she wants.
What was she threatening to do if you didn't publicly back her?
I don't know what she meant by just, or else, I don't know what that encompassed at the time.
So how did you feel when you were faced with the choice of either blocking her or just letting everything continue?
I was stressed out because I didn't want any more communication, but I also was nervous about what would happen if I blocked her. But ultimately, I didn't want any more communication, so I chose to block her.
And what happened after that?
She got extremely upset.
How do you know that?
She had a live broadcast where she was extremely angry about it and even cried at the end.
And after that live broadcast and her being very upset, did she discontinue communication with you or at you?
No.
What did she do after that since she was blocked?
She went live about me every single day for hours a day, and it just increased in alarming behavior every single day.
So when you say she went live about you, was this about your commentary on the Chris Watts case?
No.
Or was it about you personally?
Me personally.
At some point, did she disclose personal medical information about you?
Yes, she did.
What was that?
She disclosed that I had a miscarriage over the summer, and what was so upsetting was she blackmailed me with it first. When I didn't comply, she released it.
So describe that for me.
She was on a video, I believe it was December 29th. That was actually one of the videos that prompted me to get help. Her whole entire demeanor was alarming. The way she was speaking, the way she was acting. The thing she was saying that, all kinds of things about me, and saying that if any of my friends ever spoke about her, or if I didn't, basically because I blocked her, she was going to release medical information on me.
And what were the events that caused you to seek the protection order in this case?
Those events, and then becoming aware that at the same time all this was going on, she had threatened bodily harm and to come to my house prior to this.
Was it your understanding that she knew where you lived?
Yes, she asked for all my information, address, family members.
And was it your understanding that she had that information?
Yes.
And did that include the photo of your husband?
Yes. She also, I'm sorry.
No, please.
During that video, she also stated the biggest thing that pushed me to come was that she said that she had tried to get my attention a year ago by placing a picture of my husband in a advertisement video for the Chris Watts murders. It had no place there. I never saw it, so I didn't know that it happened until this current December.
Have you seen it since then?
Yes,
And do you know when it was recorded?
January 5th of 2021.
Would you recognize that video if you saw it?
Yes.
Your Honor, I am approaching to show Ms. Walsh what has been marked as Exhibit 14D. Is this the trailer that was played on January 5th of 2020?
That would be this past January, so yes.
So it was a year, it was roughly 6 months before you had had any interaction with Ms. Williams.
Correct.
And did you send this video clip?
Yes.
Is this a true and accurate representation of the video clip that you saw of this trailer?
Yes.
And it was presented on Ms. Williams' channel?
Yes.
So I have your attention now. This is what the uneducated want you to see. Yes, the uneducated. Those who are misinformed. Must feel special. Look at Father's Day. Thank you. I get it special. Oh, is this that? Oh, this is like a soap opera. So funny. That's what I think too. This is what I do. This is what I do. I dissect and I investigate. I investigate the orders. I investigate this case. What is a 35 single thing? 4 pages that you fill out? I dare you and encourage you to come take a ride with me.
So Your Honor, I'm pausing this at 2:31. This is a complete trailer. And Ms. Walsh, is this a trailer for like an upcoming episode that
Yes.
Ms. Oriani was doing at the time?
Yes.
So at 2:31, I paused it. There's a photo that seems different than the other photos that were in there. What was that?
That's my husband.
And I'm gonna stop it now. That photo was displayed from 2:31 to 2:37 for 6 seconds.
Shazam, season 2.
Find out on season 2. Shazam. What a day. But all the broadcasting, all copyrights. Let's just give it to Christopher.
Your Honor, I request that Exhibit 14D be admitted.
Ms. Oriani,
No objections.
all right, 14D will be admitted.
And then I'm going to play the related Exhibit 15A, which is Ms. Oriani's more recent commentary on that trailer. So that I can discuss them together. Is this a video clip that you took, Ms. Walsh?
Yes.
And is this a fair and accurate representation of the video clip that you took?
Yes. In November, I mean, like, who's lying on? How about this, Vanessa? You saw the trailer that I did. And something that I put in that trailer that is money now to this day is Andrea Powers sent me a picture of Vanessa's husband. And what did I do? I put Vanessa's husband, that picture, in my trailer. In my Shazam Litigate trailer. Now, everybody's watched this supposedly. Okay? Wouldn't you if you were Vanessa? Nobody's gonna know who her husband is. Except for Vanessa. If you watch this trailer, it's 2 minutes long, I'm gonna play it. And you see a picture of your husband, wouldn't you say, oh, wouldn't you call up your business partner, supposedly it was Teresa or your right hand, call Teresa and say, holy shit, what is this trailer? Did you see the part at 1 minute and 19 seconds? What? No. That's Sean. Oh, wait, that's right. Teresa didn't even know what Sean looked like. Nobody knew. But Andrew Powers did. Andrew Powers gave me that shit in 2020 of November, December. And gave me this story, this narrative of Vanessa. And I'm like, I paid no attention to it. Don't care about these people. That's not how I operate. I do my thing. I don't care what people do. So they start messing with me online. So I go ahead and I put a picture of Sean in this trailer. And I thought to myself, and I had an aha moment. Vanessa never went to anybody, not even to the FBI, nobody, and never said a word about the fact that her husband's picture was in the trailer. So I had an aha moment, as I normally do when I think about things. And I said, Teresa, I said, remember how I told you that those plots, Shazam trailers were altered to the point that somebody put on a toe tag of a little baby that was the.
So, did you see this second clip when it was live?
Yes.
Is that how you became aware that there had been a previous trailer featuring Sean?
Yes.
And did you hear Ms. Oriani discuss the timeline of when she got that photo of Sean?
Yes.
What did she say?
She said it was November 2020, which is not true.
She said it in November or December of 2020. Does that sound more accurate?
Yes, December 2020, yes.
How many months is that before you knew who she was?
It was actually the same day.
And how many months is that before you engaged with her?
6, actually 8 months.
And during that time, she was reaching out to you?
Yes.
So there's this yellow thing that popped up on that exhibit that says $9.99.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
That's a super chat.
What does that mean?
While she was doing the lives about weed, she was collecting money off of them. They're also monetized with commercials.
Understood. Your Honor, I submit Exhibit 15A into evidence. and the prior exhibit 14D.
Any objection to 15A and
Nope.
14B? Those exhibits will be admitted.
So leading up to filing the temporary protection order, we've sort of discussed the trajectory of the relationship. What was the most serious thing that happened immediately before you saw the temporary protection order?
Was kind of a culmination of those last several days.
Is it fair to say that it felt more escalated to you once your family was involved?
Absolutely.
And is that part of the reason that you saw the protection order?
That and because of what I was shown about her prior threats.
Are those threats directed at you?
Yes,
And were other people shared with you information tending to show that Ms. Oriani has threatened you
yes,
with physical harm?
yes.
I don't have anything else here. Thank you.
Ms. Walsh, I'm going to ask you a few questions now, and the reason that I'm cutting in front of Ms. Oriani is I want Ms. Oriani to have the opportunity to then follow up on my questions, and then, of course, Ms. Zimmerman will have an opportunity to follow up as well. What piece of evidence would you direct me to where you felt there was a threat of harm to you?
I have proof of it. I have a screenshot where she says she's gonna come to my house and quote, fuck up my face.
That's the first I've heard of that.
Your Honor, we do have that. It is from a different person. It is a text string between Ms. Oriani and a different person that was forwarded to Ms. Walsh, and so there are admissibility issues, although I would be happy to admit it as it relates to the effect on the listener and not for the truth of the matter asserted. If the court would be interested in seeing.
No, I'm really interested in just the bare bones here. What were you fearful that Ms. Oriani was going to do?
Come to my home and continue to put out information on my family members, including my children.
Okay, well, let me ask you then a rather rhetorical question. How are you different as a blogger or as a researcher for your blog than the celebrities in Hollywood?
I'm definitely not viewed as much as they are.
Okay, so that goes to the amount of fame, okay? But going to Hollywood, they have the tours of the celebrity homes, okay, where celebrities who don't want their public want their addresses made public, and now they have a tour bus driving by their home. How are you different?
Because I've kept my personal information private, there's not that much interest in me. It's all out there now, but it wasn't before.
So you don't consider yourself a public figure?
I wouldn't say a huge one, maybe a small public figure. And I'm not necessarily afraid that she's going to just drive by my house after I saw the threats as well, that she quotes that she wanted to fuck up my face twice, and she said,
Okay, well, that's not in evidence. So
okay,
based on what your attorney admitted, what do you believe I should be looking at?
the sheer amount, that's just a small sampling of what has gone on. And the fact that even with the TPO, instead of backing off or following the court's order, she escalated it even further than before.
Oh, yeah, right. But there's two prongs here, and what I'm looking for is prong number one. Okay, so back to the whole reason for the protection order in the first place. Okay, did this cause you emotional harm?
Yes,
How so?
it's caused me anxiety. I've had to go on blood pressure medication, had to increase the anti-anxiety meds. I've been unable to work. I spend all my time now trying to see what threats are out there and what's being said instead of putting out content, therefore not making any money.
Okay, well, that's gonna be my next question. How about just don't turn on that channel or click on the I think it's called a channel, right? The YouTube channel. Why not just don't turn it on?
I don't actually sub to her channel, which is, so how it works is when I pull up my channel every day for work, you have a feed that gives notifications and it shows me that anyway. And they're sent to me because people are worried about me as well.
Those are my questions. All right, Ms. Oriani, you are going to have an opportunity for cross-examination. Now, you seem well enough versed that I'm going to allow you to just cross-examine yourself as long as the questions aren't argumentative and aren't testimony, okay? So otherwise, I'll let you ask questions and then I'll reword them to make them proper. I'm going to try to assist you if I can, but I'd rather just allow you to carry on. But first, we're going to take a brief break because I did have a glass of water earlier. So we're going to be in recess for 10 minutes and then get started. So I've got 10:57. Let's come back at 10 after 11. All right, folks, it is 11:10. So let's go ahead and get started. Ms. Oriani, it is your turn. You've got all your paperwork right there. Go ahead and just stay right where you are. I'm not going to have you go to the podium because you're all nicely spread out. And you may begin. Like I said, if there's an objection to your form of the question, I will try to help reword your question to make it appropriate. But let's go ahead and just start off with you doing your own question.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Walsh, what was the name of your channel before it was unmasked?
Objection, relevance. Is that relevant?
Because her being a public figure when she first started, she wasn't unmasked, she changed the name.
It's not relevant for the protection order. I'm going to sustain that objection.
Okay. Ms. Walsh, in your TPO paperwork, you mentioned that your daughter was scared to come to the door because you showed her a photograph of me. Is that correct?
Yes.
What photograph did you show her?
Objection, relevance.
I never sent her any photographs.
No, you need to just be quiet while I think about what that objection is. And I'm going to overrule that objection. I do think that it's relevant. It was one of the reasons that I considered in granting the temporary order of protection.
I showed her a picture of you from your channel.
Which picture?
One of your lives.
Ms. Walsh, did you find any police reports on Ms. Oriani prior to filing a TPO?
Objection, relevance. I'm going to allow the question. It's certainly not a requirement, but Ms. Oriani is entitled to explore the circumstances surrounding the TPO.
No, I did not.
Why not, Ms. Walsh?
So I was hoping that I could get a temporary restraining order.
Did you include your minor daughter in your temporary restraining order?
No,
Why not, Ms. Walsh?
for her privacy and protection.
Who else do you live with, Ms. Walsh?
Objection, relevance.
What's the need?
I'll be open, I just want to add to my objection. My concern is that Ms. Oriani is inappropriately using this cross-examination to gather additional personal information about Ms. Walsh that really is not.
Sure. Well, attorneys call those fishing expeditions, and they do them all the time. So, Ms. Oriani, what's the need?
I'm curious to know if she showed my picture to other members of her family. Why she showed my picture in the first place.
I don't think that's relevant.
Okay. Did you ever contact Ms. Oriani to tell her to leave you alone?
I blocked you
When did you block me?
December 21st.
Is that an evidence?
I have an objection, Your Honor, I'm objecting to that.
Yeah, Ms. Oriani, the record stands.
And Your Honor, just a point of clarification, when Ms. Oriani says Ms. Oriani, I'm not sure if it's clear if she's referring to herself in the third person or if she's referring to a different person. I just want to make sure that the record is clear.
I only know of one Ms. Oriani that has been mentioned in this, so I'm certainly taking that as the defendant herself. And you know the difficulties when you're asking your own questions as a pro se party. How do you refer to yourself? Do you use the first person? Do you use the third person? I don't find that confusing. So, Ms. Oriani, you may continue.
Ms. Walsh, she stated that in her TPO, that I do believe when she comes to Denver, she will come to my home. I've had to show my daughter a picture of her in case she comes here, which has caused her unnecessary stress. She's afraid to answer the door. Why would showing your daughter a picture of me cause her unnecessary stress?
Because of the nature of why I had to show her the picture.
So did you explain to your daughter why?
Yes.
And what did you explain to your daughter?
I explained as well as I could the situation, that she was not, if she saw you, she was not to open the door because there was something going on between me and you. I showed her your picture. I explained that you were making threatening comments about me online. I wanted her to understand that I was serious not to open the door if she saw you.
Ms. Walsh, do you remember on August 6th when you reached out to me and made contact with me, August 6th, 2021?
Yes.
And you mentioned that another creator made a Facebook or YouTube live and had our names and pictures.
Yes.
Who was that?
Mandy C.
Do you know what her real name is?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
Did Mandy C threaten your children and you?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
Ms. Walsh, why did you reach out to me on August 6th for help?
Because of the advertisement I saw for that video.
Or why would you reach out to me for help?
Because both of us were on the advertisement, it's been detoxed.
But you can't stand me and would have nothing to do with me in your testimony earlier.
I didn't want association with you as far as my brand, but that was a different type of situation.
Isn't it true that Mandy C is known as Ms. Bowden, has a criminal history in the federal correction system?
Objection, relevance, and lack of foundation. Yeah, asking for
Sustained for all those reasons.
Ms. Walsh, are you aware that your attorney filed a emergency quash order, a motion?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
Ms. Walsh, are you aware that your attorney said that your daughter had no inkling about this case?
Objection, relevance.
Your Honor, she just stated that she told her daughter about this case.
You're asking her to comment on something that another party said. So you're going to need to lay more foundation and show why that would be relevant.
Ms. Walsh, how many people are employed at Unmasked?
Objection, relevance.
I need to hear a little more about that, Ms. Oriani.
When the @ symbol Unmasked, it's not just referring to.
I'm going to object to Ms. Oriani testifying in this context.
Ms. Oriani, are you laying more of the foundation?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm trying to explain that Unmasked is run not just by Ms. Walsh. And I have,
No. You need to do that through questioning. But if you're telling me that you are laying a further foundation for an explanation as to something that is relevant, for instance, something that you are seeing in her application, then I'm going to allow you to delve a little farther before I make a ruling on it, okay? So if you're telling me that's foundation, I'm going to allow it for that purpose and that purpose only. Go ahead.
so then Ms. Walsh, how many people are employed with Unmasked?
0.
Do you have any volunteers?
Yes.
How many?
English capacity. I'm objecting against relevance. There is no relevance to the current number of volunteers who work for this Walsh.
Why would that be relevant, Ms. Oriani? How many volunteers? Volunteers come and go.
Because these volunteers were the ones that were instructed under Ms. Walsh to do things.
Well, then I think you can ask a question, such as, Ms. Walsh, was one of your volunteers instructed to do X, Y, and Z?
There you go, Ms. Walsh. Do you know Christine Marie?
Yes.
How do you know her?
She used to be my editor.
Your Honor, I'd like to submit into evidence documentation of screenshots between Christine Marie and her staff member.
All right, you're gonna need to lay more foundation first, okay? You need to call the exhibit to the attention of the witness, have her authenticate it, and then establish why that would be relevant for today. All of that needs to be done before I consider it.
Okay. Well, I would like to approach to give the witness a copy of the screenshot between her and Christine Marie.
What's it marked?
Double D.
Okay, has that exhibit been given to the plaintiff before?
Yes, it was in the Dropbox.
Which file is that?
It's actually in the other one. It is It is 842_3,
Which file is it on?
the order.
The file that says order exhibits?
Mhm.
You said 842_3?
Yes.
Okay, so I hope that I have tortured you with a really juicy part where the the witnesses go up to testify, because that is the best bit. But I have to go to sleep because I am a little bit worse for wear. But we will be back tomorrow around 7 o'clock. So Mr. Snuffles needs to get his rear end in gear and put out part 2, and then we can just stream this for days. It goes on for around 6 hours, so I hope that you're all there with us when we're back tomorrow. So thank you for everybody who's come by, and Yanka's ran off to brush her teeth, so we are off to bed. Good night, everybody. Good night. I love you all.